King Josiah was the 15th of 19 kings for the southern kingdom of Judah. He is called the last good king that Israel had because of the numerous reforms and the restoring of the temple after his evil grandfather had defiled it so much. His reign parallels the decline of the Assyrian Empire. During Josiah's time, the Assyrian Empire went through 5 kings that were weaker and weaker as they declined before the fall of Nineveh in 612 BC. The Assyrian Empire was essentially in a civil war as Babylon revolted in 626 under King Nabopolassar, the father of Nebuchadnezzar. As such, Josiah's reign doesn't record any conflict with surrounding nations until his death in 609 at the hands of Pharaoh Necho of Egypt in the Valley of Megiddo. As seen on our other videos, the reigns for Jehoahaz, Jehoiakim, Jehoiachin, and Zedekiah are backed up by archaeological evidence that matches the description and the timeline of the Bible. When we move back to their father Josiah's reign, we can plot the events of his life according to 2 Kings and 2 Chronicles. We know that his death was in 609 and that he ruled for 31 years starting at the age of 8. So this puts his reign starting in 640 and being born in 648. Knowing that, we could assume that he witnessed some of the evil acts that his grandfather and father did. From this, we know that he began to seek God at 16 years old, began to tear down idols at 22, and then enacted reforms and cleansed the temple at age 28. Other things to note is that his sons Jehoiakim, Jehoahaz were born early enough to witness all the good that their father did, yet when it came to their rule they acted wickedly. Also that Jeremiah the prophet began his ministry in 627, noted in Jeremiah 25:3 to give us perspective on the length of his ministry. We can see below that Josiah's reign is covered in chapters 22 and 23 of 2 Kings and 34 and 35 of 2 Chronicles. When we look at the content in those books, we see that 80% is devoted to the Torah being found in the temple and 10% is to his death. With the focus on those events, here are 3 reasons why we can view them as historically reliable. Number 1. Shaphan the scribe. When the Torah was found in the temple, it was Shaphan the scribe who was sent by Josiah to Hilkiah the high priest to look into the treasury to fix up the temple. So this important story involves 3 major players: King Josiah, Shaphan the scribe, and Hilkiah the high priest. The Bible continues saying that Hilkiah found the Torah and read it to Shaphan, who then took it back to Josiah. After hearing it, Josiah tore his clothes, knowing that judgment was coming to Judah because of their disobedience. Josiah called all the elders together and read the whole Torah to them. Upon this, Josiah ordered for the temple to be cleansed, tear down all the pagan idols throughout the land, including Jeroboam's golden calf at Bethel, and the putting away of all pagan priests. Lastly, he ordered for the nation to celebrate the Passover and the festival of unleavened bread. It is described as the greatest Passover observed since the time of Samuel the prophet. In 1982, a bulla was found with the inscription Gemariah, the son of Shaphan. In Jeremiah 36:10, we see that Gemariah listed as the son of Shaphan the scribe, not leaving the open potential of a different Shaphan. Number 2. Hilkiah the high priest. 2 bulls were found mentioning Hilkiah in the City of David excavations. The first in 1980 with his son Hanan, and the other of his son Azariah, who became high priest after his father during Jehoiakim's reign. Azariah is described as the son of Hilkiah in 2 places. In Ezra 7:1, it shows Ezra was a descendant of Hilkiah, going back to Aaron, the first high priest, after the Exodus. And in 1 Chronicles 6:13, where the list started with Levi, the 3rd son of Jacob, back in Genesis 29. So there is actually good purpose to all these genealogies found throughout the Bible. The most important part of this story for us deals with the critics who try to say that most of the Torah and that of the Old Testament was concocted by Jewish priests during and after the exile to give hope to fellow Jews. This is known as the JEDP, or documentary hypothesis, invented by 19th century German Bible critic Julius Wellhausen. The story of the Torah being found in the temple, with evidence of the characters involved, is one of numerous reasons why his hypothesis has no grounds other than trying to rewrite the simple, straightforward narrative of Scripture. Number 3. Pharaoh Necho of Egypt. In 612 BC, the fall of the Assyrian capital Nineveh took place as the Babylonians and the Medes aligned themselves together. Following the crushing defeat, the Assyrians made Haran as the capital, and the Egyptians under Pharaoh Necho were marching north to help the Assyrians against the next attack by Nebuchadnezzar. At that point, King Josiah tried to cut off the Egyptian army after not listening to Necho's warning that he should not interfere. Josiah was eventually killed in the Valley of Megiddo. So in 609 BC, Necho killed Josiah, next he imprisoned Jehoahaz, and then he finally installed Jehoiakim as a vassal ruler. On the timeline, Necho's rule parallels perfectly with Josiah's death in 609 and his sons Jehoahaz and Jehoiakim's reigns. Overall, we can see from the bulas for Shaphan the scribe, Hilkiah the high priest, and the reign of Pharaoh Necho that the accounts for King Josiah found in 1st and 2nd Kings, 1st and 2nd Chronicles, the books of Jeremiah and Zephaniah, and the Gospel of Matthew can be seen as historically accurate and not myth. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button below to stay up to date with the new videos as they come out.